Hey, good morning. This is Scott. Katasha and I are out for a run this morning in the Refuge, and this is one of our favorite spots in the Refuge where the Florida Trail crosses the Pinhook River. So this morning, the Florida Trail is coincident with Tram Road for some distance. Back to the west there, it's about 7.5 miles to Lighthouse Road if you stay on Tram Road. And back to the east, the Florida Trail eventually comes out on US 98 near the Osceola River. So that would be about 4.5 miles in that direction to get to US 98. We've done this a couple times where we would drop off a car at Lighthouse Road and then drive around to US 98 at the Osceola River and run straight through. Then of course you got to drive back and get your other car. This morning we were not prepared for a 15-mile round trip run, so we drove down into the Newport area and parked on Road 126 and came down and hit Tram Road. So we had to go about 2.5 miles to get to this point from where we left our Jeep. All right, so we got a couple of pictures and enjoyed the scenery here at the Pinhook River. The tide must be out because the current is going pretty good. The little side creek over there has got some rapids going on over the limestone formations. So we're gonna continue on to the east on the trail a little ways and hopefully make it over to the wilderness area. There's a sign posted there, and hopefully we'll get to see that. So see you after a while. All right, so we made it to the St. Mark's wilderness area, and from here on, as the sign says, for the next 1.8 miles, primitive trail conditions. Really cool quote from Edward Abbey: "May your trails be crooked, winding, lonesome, dangerous, leading to the most amazing view." So we've been through this stretch before, and it's a really cool section of trail. So kind of funny story, the first time we came through here, we did, like I said earlier, we left the car at Lighthouse Road and drove around to 98 in the Osceola River. And when we got ready to take off, there had been a lot of rain, and there was the trail was flooded right at the car, and it was cold weather, and we didn't really want to get wet right at the beginning. So I said, hey, there's some little forest roads and stuff very close to the trail, so we'll just take this forest road and hook up with the trail later. Well, that forest road that I picked did not hook up with the trail. It ended up kind of petering out in a big swamp that was to the east of Firebreak 14. So we ultimately ended up with me carrying Katasha on my back through the swamp in like hip deep water, and we finally made it out to Firebreak 14, and fortunately there was a tree across the ditch, and we were able to get across the tree and jump over onto the road. And then the road that Katasha just panned to, that's grown up with weeds right there, we were able to hit that road and come to this point and continue on the trail. But so if you decide to do the point-to-point route from the Osceola River to Lighthouse Road, stay on the Florida Trail, because there is a good chance that you might end up in a swamp somewhere if you venture off the trail. But it made for a good story anyway. So we're gonna continue on the trail here a little ways. Like I said, we're just about at the 4-mile mark from where we left our car on Road 126, and we wanted to make sure we got a little over 8 miles on our run today. So we're gonna continue on a little bit and then turn around and start heading back towards the Pinhook River. So see you guys soon. So here we are on the trail. We're only about 100 yards from the sign with the Edward Abbey quote. But the trail crosses this really cool little cypress swamp with some nice trees in it. And here we go. There's Katasha with our dog Cracker standing on the trail. There's actually, I guess there was an old bridge here, and so there's a couple planks to go across. It's very slippery when it's wet, so be careful if you come through here. And but it is a really nice little cypress pond. Good place to stop and check things out. All right, see you in a bit. So we're still in the wilderness area on the Florida Trail, and we stopped. We've been looking for aquatic milkweed, Asclepias perennis, and so finally we spotted some right here. And I don't know how in focus this is, but this is one right here that's perennis. And if you look at the underside of that leaf, you can see an egg from either a monarch or a queen butterfly. And the orange stuff, I think, is some kind of mites that also live on the perennis. But very cool. We hadn't seen perennis in this section before. We hadn't really looked for it. So we'll have to add this location to our milkweed map and share it with some of our friends at the Refuge. All right, continuing on. Okay, trying to do a little video while running down the trail. It probably is gonna be pretty shaky, but nice section of trail here, just like every section is. And we're on our way back to the Pinhook right now.
All right, so just to show you guys what we have in our pack sometimes when we're out on these trail roads. Of course, we have some water. I like to carry these peanut butter pretzels. I'm a little hungry right now, actually. A dry bag for my phone in case it starts raining, some paper. Dog bags are really great for packing out your trash. And of course, my cell phone, chapstick for today. It's really windy and cold. And then today I also have a little dog first aid kit with us just in case. So just a few things to keep you kind of safe and comfortable out on the trail. And today, again, since it's really windy and cold, just in case something happens, I brought an extra jacket. So.
All right, here we are back still on Tram Road. At this point, we are west of the Pinhook River, and this is the point where the Florida Trail diverges from Tram Road and goes back into the woods. And it winds around through there and comes out on another forest road that goes out into the marsh, one of the levees that goes out into the marsh. And it's really spectacular out there, and I really recommend taking that route as well. But we're going to continue on down Tram Road a little ways farther to 126 so we can turn north up into the Newport unit where we left our Jeep.
All right, here we are at Road 126. We're going to cut off of Tram Road and head back to our Jeep. The Tram Road does continue on to the west to hit Lighthouse Road where the primitive trail signs are.
All right, we made it back to the Jeep. Our run was about 8.2 miles total. We saw a number of birds. We saw some night herons when we first left the Jeep to take off on the run, and then we saw great blue heron, numerous other birds. Saw some cool plants. I think Katasha got a picture of some thistle. We saw the perennis over in the wilderness area, and the weather, is perfect. It was about 40 degrees this morning at the start. It's a little breezy right now, but great weather for running, and it's always a great day to be out in the Refuge.